Well, damn. It's here, I watched it, and it was fucking great. But not as great as it could have been. Before going deeper, I will start with my history and opinion on the old movies. The first time I saw Broly, I think it was in Budokai Tenkaichi 2, just flying around doing random quests, and suddenly I come across this random hulking character, and I was like, who the fuck is this? Is this some character made for the game? Sometime later, I went to the local video store, saw the movie in the anime aisle, and went, gotta watch it. Watched it all and thought that was fucking rad, and continue to think so, more or less, even now. And after many years of ever-growing popularity, Toya asked Akira to do something crazy, watch this movie and bring it into the canon. And here we are now, basically in this remake reboot. How good could it be? As I'm going to say, an expiring writer, I can look at the old movies and see the potential it has. Now I'm going to change my review format a bit and do just pros and cons in one section. The story. I mean, it's Dragon Ball. You aren't here for the story, especially not in a movie. You are here for the characters and action. But what I love to see in these types of stories is lore. You got a solid enough look at the inner workings of the Saiyan race and more scenes with the Frieza family. In fact, it was a delight to see more of the family of the characters here. Where it stumbles is, while it often shows and explains things well, some things they don't show, and worst, they over-explain. Not as in detail, but as in a character repeating over and over again what they think, trying to get an idea in your head instead of showing it. So in a few areas it's rushed. This movie was apparently like 4-hour long script at first, and it feels like a story condensed for a movie. Now the original story by a section of the DB fanbase gets criticized for dumb elements. While I agree, I usually find that section of the fanbase exaggerates and nitpicks the flaws to satisfy their own feelings. I won't go deeper on them other than saying I never met somebody that disliked those movies and the character that wasn't a complete douche. But back to the point I was making. This movie's story is used to get all these characters together. It's fucking dumb and only acceptable due to the fact it's played up for laughs. Now the characters, well, Goku is Goku, but better than he was in Dragon Ball Super. Vegeta is basically Dragon Ball Super Vegeta that feels like his character growth took a back step. Frieza is Dragon Ball Super Frieza, which he kinda has to be here. Bardock, while the bloody bandana Bardock will always be a badass, this Bardock was calmer and smarter and even loving character. Sadly, not enough screen time to make you feel strongly about him either way. But most importantly is Broly and others. I say others because after thinking about it, the other characters are basically extensions to bring out the character of Broly's struggle. The female character with Broly is basically the story of King Kong, the Lady and the Beast. His father, the story I guess they want to tell is Beastmaster type thing, but they don't do it too well in my opinion. To me, without question, the father is the worst handled character here than he is in the original. They want you to see him as a cruel guy out for vengeance when all you see is a guy doing both dickish and logical things. So the story should be an explanation on if that dickish and logical thing is in the end moral. But none of that happens. It's just a black and white without seeing a lot of the black. Still in the end it helps the character of Broly, a character that's basically Goku but more barbaric ignorance than just being dumb. And where a character like Kale fails is you see her for 30 seconds and you completely know where the character is and where it's going and what personality will be from start to finish. Broly, you can kinda watch and you kinda know, but you're still interested. The people and the situation around Broly better expand the character and makes you care about him due to his background and story, which is simple but still charming at the same time. I was wondering how they would handle the legendary Super Saiyan form in this movie. In the old movies, base Broly was quiet and limited, while Legendary was evil, cruel, and somewhat egotistical. In this movie, honestly, Broly in this form might have had less lines than he did in Second Coming, and he said like one word there. I'm not a fan of this choice for two reasons. One reason, I always had an idea of normal Broly having a mental battle with his legendary state, resulting in a new, more powerful form. But no, just 100% Berserker. The other reason I would get into later. Now, the action. God damn. As the kids would say, this shit was lit. It was almost everything I wanted in a big Dragon Ball movie. A back and forth, well choreographed anime brawl between overpowered monsters throwing colorful attack, energy balls, and techniques at each other. Broly steadily growing in power and combat skill creates more layers in battle. When Goku goes into Super Saiyan Blue, you really feel a sense of escalation and importance here. It's not just a power up, because once again you fear Broly as this brutal monster who they will need everything to beat, and boy do they give you everything, even showing Gogeta creating this cosmic and magical battle that the fans could only dream of long ago. Though even here it has flaws. There are some magical bullshit moments. It goes into the kind of dull way of fighting. Character gets punched, other character punches back and pushes the character back further. Now characters punches harder and other characters gets busted through more mountains, etc, etc. Also, a pet peeve of mine is when OP characters get hurt by environmental terrain. Like, it looks cool, but no amount of force at all would hurt characters who can bust planets but also be hurt by a slam to the ground. Also, with Broly not talking, it leads to a lack of back and forth. Talking even a little helps create a layer to the story and battle, but this is basically Superman vs Doomsday. Some other noticeable bits: I thought the music here was very good, and those random shouts in the middle of a hard battle I thought were funny but cool. While the 3D can be only above average at times and talking parts are very typical mouth flapping, the animation and art overall, especially in combat, is amazing. I had super high expectations, then a friend told me to lower them. My original expectation was this movie would be the best Dragon Ball related thing since the Cell saga, and honestly, at least in terms of enjoyment, it easily was for me. I give Dragon Ball Super Broly a B+.